It was so amazing for me to see him at the helm of this kind of a film of such epic proportions, because it was certainly a very different endeavor than the film that we had done together before. It's a project he's been passionate about and a story he's been passionate about telling for a very long time. So it was really wonderful for me to see him on set and see him doing such an amazing job. As a filmmaker, he's very bold, he's very visually innovative and striking and creative. I play Noah's wife. When you read the story of Noah in the Bible in Genesis, you really don't learn very much of anything at all about Noah's wife. Darren had written my character as a very loyal wife. She was a very devoted mother and very virtuous. What I found in doing research, reading through the Bible, especially, there's a passage in Proverbs 31 that talks about the virtuous woman. And it talks about these kinds of attributes that are consistent with the way Name behaves, support of her husband, but also the strength, the industriousness, the wisdom, the modesty, all these sorts of things, that she, that I think Name really embodies. I was really curious about what would she have been doing, and what would her contribution to the household have been? What would her duties have been? And so to investigate that, I explored what archaeologists had to say, what historians had to say, what the Bible had to say. And I think the result is she became a little more industrious. So she's strong emotionally and physically, and a very capable woman. Noah's a very complex character in this telling of the story. I think Darren and Russell really explore what conceivably Noah may have experienced, having to have shouldered this burden, It really explores the cost of that on Noah and on Noah's family. Russell's a very powerful actor, and the circumstances are, well, of biblical proportions, and he really has the gravitas to embody that, I think. Everything about him, he has a real strength to him. So I think it's a very dynamic portrayal of Noah. It's very faithful to the Noah that, I think it's very faithful to the spirit of the story that you read in the Bible. It was very impressive, not only the exterior set, and so there was the ark, and then they had built this amazing, they had these artists come in and build this amazing scaffolding on the outside that was made out of something that resembled bamboo, may have been bamboo. It was so beautiful. Then there was an interior ark set, which was filled with animals. In terms of working with Russell, the circumstances of our lives and the circumstances of our characters' lives in this film were so different than they were the last time we worked together. But there's something very familiar. He's extremely engaged with the material when he's working on a film, and he's extremely engaged with the actor that he's working with. And it's very powerful. I really love working with him. Noah and his wife had 3 sons. There's Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And we had young kids playing those characters, including babies. Japheth in the beginning of the film is a baby. And then we had more adult versions of the kids. They all did a great job. I had worked with Logan before. I'd never worked with Emma or Douglas before. All remarkably lovely people, and just, did a great job, I think. Emma plays Elah. The family is traveling to see Methuselah so that Noah can get some clarity on a vision that he's had. On the way, in the journey, we come across a girl who's been abandoned, whose parents have been, her parents have been killed. And we take her on, and she becomes a sort of adoptive daughter to the family. She did a great job. She's very smart. She's a really nice girl. Methuselah was played by Anthony Hopkins, and I was so excited to work with him. I hadn't been that nervous in so long. He's Anthony Hopkins. He's formidable, and he's so lovely, and he's just beautiful in the movie. I mean, Anthony Hopkins is beautiful in everything he does. I think he's beautiful in this movie. I just love him, and I had such a marvelous time working with him, and it was a real high point for me. It's an impressive spectacle of a film. It's adventure. It's elaborate and rich and complex, and I think moving. I think it's very visually striking. I think this is a particularly striking telling of this biblical story. As you mentioned, the story itself it only takes up a few pages in the Bible. So to make a film, of course, there had to be some extent of interpretation. You know, Darren had to imagine what conceivably could have happened, what could have been the circumstances. I find that really interesting. I think the things that he came up with are really captivating and intriguing.